aircraft.
Dude, they're not going to
And
tell
it's
you
like-
the
What is she
real
wearing?
shit.
What is she wearing, dude?
It's like bullshit.
They're not going to tell you the real shit.
I don't even believe any of this
All right,
stuff.
so we're going live right now. Just,
Because even the SR, its recorded speed was 3 point something Mach, but it's not its top speed, dude.
The limit was just materials, like the turbines weren't able to withstand.
what are you doing to the dog?
That speed.
She just barks for no reason. All the time.
Frame.
More peanut butter.
Yeah, but with Casey, that's only going to last 15 seconds.
Oh, chew, woo! Yikes!
10 seconds?
Yeah, he's being generous.
Yeah.
Tommy, do you pronounce it Harrell or Harrell or
Harrell.
Tommy Two Jeeps.
Yeah, we decided your new nickname is Tommy Two Jeeps.
It's more than that. It's a terrible habit. I'm going to have to quit one of these days.
Casey needs to do something with that dog. Go tell Susan to shut
You
that dog
still
up.
hear it?
Yes.
If I go out there, it'll make
Like
it worse.
5 minutes ago, we couldn't hear you. Period. Now
Yeah,
we
now
hear
all I hear
the
is your
dog.
goddamn dog.
I can hear the forklift outside your house, too.
Yeah.
Whatever that was. It was like a beep, beep, beep.
Trash day.
Hold on, let me check my algorithms again. That's not very.
You didn't get anything good this time? So are you sitting in your garage?
Yeah, it's in the farm shop. If I go home, I've got a toddler, makes a lot of noise. It's quiet here.
Farm shop.
How do we get a farm
I
shop?
want a damn farm
I
shop.
want a farm shop. Yeah.
Man, I got the door closed, so it's not even up front. This is the middle third.
Middle.
I'll pass on the farm shop. That sounds like work.
It's real. That's the bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that space for all the tools for the work that you have to do to the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even. I got just
I'm
enough
okay with
room
that.
for the
I didn't-
welder I don't use.
I didn't say I wanted a farm. I said I just wanted a farm
farm
shop.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right, we're technically streaming already.
Oh no.
So
Yeah, Tim's already on.
yeah, Tim's on. So we are going to.
Update the title.
I'm working on it.
Do it faster.
I was trying to find. Tom, what's your Instagram handle?
Short Hood 95.
There it is.
Does that work for something?
Yeah. I just was trying to find that. I knew it wasn't Tommy something, but I couldn't remember what it was. So let's.
It wasn't Tommy Two Jeeps.
It was not Tommy Two Jeeps.
I like it. I may go with that.
Yeah. And then
Well,
my name's Tommy Two Jeeps. Two Jeeps. You have to
Yeah.
say Two Jeeps twice.
I'm Two Jeeps. Tommy Two Jeeps.
There you go.
You know, like the Bond guy.
Yeah, but we said two Jeeps because we thought.
We thought you had two Jeeps at first.
The blue one, and then what it turned into.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
cool. He has two Jeeps.
And we were like, which one did he take on the
which one did he
trip?
take on the trip? Yeah.
We suck.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right though. Thank you.
I'm catching up on past episodes. This is what I expect.
And what does Tim matter if we have a Jeep guy anyways? It doesn't even he technically owns a Jeep, but he doesn't even drive one.
Tim's like, it's about time you had some driveway ornaments on this show. All right, so Tommy, we're going to count down 3, 2, 1. We'll go silent for about 10 seconds. That'll just mark where we're going to start the recording, and then we'll just open it up to a basically the same bullshit you've been listening to for the last 10 minutes, longer version, and then at the very end we'll say thank you so much, man. Have a great night. Goodbye, but don't hang up.
All right, sounds great.
You guys ready?
Ready as ever.
All right. We're going to start it now. 3, 2, 1. All right. After significant additional technical support to get Casey on the show again for I don't know how many at the time, we are live streaming on Tuesday. It's shortly after 6:30 p.m. and we are joined from the farm shop in somewhere mid-Missouri, Ozarks of nowhere, USA, is Tommy Harrell. You know him as Short Hood 95 on Instagram, or as we call him now, Tommy Two Jeeps. How you doing, man?
Doing great, guys. Doing great. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We so the backstory for those of you that haven't caught it is Tommy started a trip a while ago and did a cross country or multi-state trip from mid Missouri out to Moab into the Mojave and then back. So we wanted to hear about that story, and we're calling him Tommy Two Jeeps because he sent an email right before to talk about the vehicle he was taking, and he sent 2 pictures, and I didn't read long enough to find out it was a before and after picture, and they were the same Jeep. So we were like, which Jeep
Which one did you take?
We're like, I don't know which one he's gonna take, and it's the same Jeep.
So so let's start with where you're at. You said that you are in mid Missouri right now.
Yeah, between the capital and the Lake of the Ozarks.
And we were talking about the show Ozark with Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there's a lot of tourists there now. You said,
has it?
It's always been horrid with tourists, but it's gotten worse.
Are you kind of upset that the secret got out?
No, they come out of the big cities all the time anyway to play in our water and make a mess. You just deal with it.
I see.
Sounds like Azusa Canyon.
Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
I don't know, 20 years, give or take, turn of the century.
That's the first time I've thought to ever say turn of the century.
1900.
I moved into Eastvale, turn of the century. Yeah,
Since the turn of the century. Yeah.
So you're are you? Let's see.
That's when people were riding around with those big bicycle with the big front tires, right?
Yeah, the big
turn of the
old
century,
and the suits that had the long tails.
Yeah, and you had to ride those bikes.
Top hat.
The giant phones that folded in the middle.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
yeah, that's.
Remember when the Motorola Razr came out? That was like the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, if you had the Razor, yeah, you were the
bee's knees.
I was gonna say cat's meow.
I was
All
gonna
right.
say king shit, but
Okay.
So I had to look up a map to find out exactly where Missouri is. Oh, so our buddy Joe K is in Kansas City now. Matter of fact,
Okay, a couple hours off.
I think he left me a voicemail. We have to check after this. So you grew up out. So you grew up out there. I'm assuming. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And
Well,
the little bit that I know about anything east of Phoenix will probably come out in this episode when I talk to you. But as you look at the map, it looks like there's a lot of green stuff and swampland, right? That's what the Ozarks are known for.
rocks. It's all rocks.
Oh,
It's
okay.
old,
I was gonna say
old
like,
mountains.
I didn't picture that at all.
yeah. What is the riding? What's the wheeling like out in your
Well,
area?
last weekend I ran down to a open house at Overland Attic in Nixon, Missouri, and we went out to do this Glade Trail, and it was 9 miles, about 4 hours worth of wheeling, and it's just dry, hard rocks
Wow.
Really?
with some trees.
I would not think of anything dry in that part of the country.
in Missouri.
Missouri.
There you go. You got it right now.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, one of my buddies growing up, his dad was from Missouri, and we used to tease him about the way he said Missouri. So tell us a little bit about like you getting into wheeling and kind of the stuff that you were, like how long have you been having multiple Jeeps, and then and we'll lead up to your big cross country trip. So start there. So like growing up in that part of the country, is wheeling something you just did growing up?
Just yeah, you've always off road chasing cattle, doing stuff. And I got my first Wrangler, I think it was in '99. I was about 15 years old, and I still got it in the back. It's LS powered and just a pavement princess now. And then you get into Cherokees because they're cheap, and you turn them over, tear them up, beat them up. And then I finally bought something decent and got me a JK. But other than that, we still got geo trackers for chasing cattle and old pickup trucks and all kinds of fun stuff.
What year's your JK? When did you get it?
It's a 16, and I got it in December of 17.
Okay.
One of them Copart salvage deals.
Oh,
60
really?
or 6, yeah, 16,000 miles. It was rear-ended. It was blue. Sorry, Casey, but it was blue.
That's fine. That's good. That's a good color. Dodger blue.
Yeah, and I brought it home, kept it for a few months, made sure everything worked, and went to cutting on it, and went to color that doesn't show dirt. Didn't know everybody else was going to go that color, but it is.
Yeah, so the fact that it was rear-ended, is that what caused you to do the back end chop?
Yeah, that's the whole reason I bought it. I was looking at Wranglers, and the Gladiator was a concept that kind of come out. I didn't want a 4-door family wagon, so I bought a 2-door Wrangler and cut it in the middle.
I love how nonchalant he is about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
He's like,
I just cut it.
just cut it in the middle.
Yeah,
But
the first cut is the deepest.
So the Tommy Two Jeeps, the blue rank JK gets chopped, and then you enclose behind the seat. How much room is behind the seat when you enclose that, and how did you enclose that?
That's using factory cab corners and a lot of cutting and fabricating and creativeness. And it's got enough room for, well, I put my luggage back there, but it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
You can put a case of beer and slide the seat all the way back, and that's kind of your limit.
Okay.
So there is
That's
some
all I
like-
need.
Yeah, I was just
anyhow.
gonna say Matt's
Yeah, you're good. I think it's perfect.
And if you guys go to ShortHood95 on Instagram, you'll see a couple really cool pics of this Wrangler that's been chopped. And there's one right here where he's in Moab cruising around, and it's freaking awesome. So going back to the fabrication stuff, is that something that you've always done?
Yeah, you get real good at booger welding stuff back together, and then eventually maybe you can make stuff look all right.
That just because you needed to do it on the farm?
Yeah, it's combines broke down. You torch a bearing out, try not to cut the shaft, and before you know it, you're building stuff that looks all right.
I'm sorry, but we don't relate
No,
at all,
it's,
dude.
yeah,
No.
so crazy. I love it though. I love that you're just
But
like,
I mean, that's time on tools,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that's the saying.
so not entirely the same.
That's
but
that's how eventually I got into project management. Is I was a field person and I installed ductwork, and sometimes it came out okay, and sometimes it looked like garbage, and then slowly it got better and better, and then voila.
I had done a bunch of remodel stuff at the house, and someone was like, "How do you know to do that stuff?" I don't. I know how to use a sawzall and a hammer, and I figured eventually we'll figure it out. You know,
watch enough of this old house, you'll get everything
yeah,
figured
exactly.
There it is.
Enough YouTube, you could do just about anything. So how long did you have it? You said just a couple months before you cut it in half.
out. Yeah, I got it fixed well enough to get a rebuilt title. I had almost 2 gallons of Bondo smeared on it to pass that inspection.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
you've got to
man.
fix. You have to fix all the dents back to factory appearance.
Oh, really?
Oh man.
Yeah, on anything less than 10 years old, you got to fix the dents. So it was 3-4 inches thick in a few spots.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And that Bondo is still attached to the vehicle even after going 4-wheeling?
Well,
Oh no,
No,
no! Once I got home,
chopped the back
everything that
off.
was Bondo got cut
Oh,
off.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but how
Yeah,
does
it's
how do the emissions work over there? I mean, are they stringent as in California, or can you
emissions.
Just, yeah, they're like it has a motor, right? It doesn't matter.
No,
but-
as far as the state's concerned, it's a 2016 2-door Jeep Wrangler.
It doesn't.
And
It
I
doesn't
think
matter
it's-
what powertrain it's in it.
It's still stock 3.6 with the 5-speed Mercedes transmission. As far as the Jeep's concerned, the only thing that's not right on it's the wheel speed sensors. The longer wheelbase throws it off in sharp turns once in a while.
Oh, really? So you stretched
Yeah.
it too. So you didn't.
Yeah, there's 26 inches added to the frame and 12 inches behind the axle.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 18 inches longer than a JKU.
So how does that? What's that compared to a Gladiator? Do you know?
Gladiator's 138-inch wheelbase, and I'm 122.
Okay, so it's longer than a JKU, but shorter than a Gladiator.
Yeah, it kind of falls in the middle.
Oh, okay. And the
And a little.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's a little bit less overhang, and otherwise, it's just a long Wrangler.
And so the bed. I'm looking at pictures of it on your Instagram. So the bed, did you fab the whole bed yourself and everything with the boxes and the whole deal?
Oh yeah, it's more metal. Just it's mostly 3-inch channel and 2-inch channel and a little bit of sheet metal and lawnmower fenders and accumulation of junk.
Oh my God, I'm absolutely loving this. And there's a good video on his Instagram of him going down the quote challenging section on the Mojave Trail like a champ.
Yeah,
no problems at all.
The big wash.
Yeah.
My buddies, they bypassed that. That was a little much for them.
Yeah, and you got. I'm watching you go through it. No problems at all. No issues.
No.
So how long did it?
Go ahead.
How long did it take you from the time you put the saw to the back of the Wrangler? How long did it take you before you had the bed on and everything was done and you were off and running?
It was a year and a half.
Oh, really?
It was a lot of nights and weekends. My son was 9 months old when I bought it. So, baby at home, wife working, and this was just nights and weekends when nobody was yelling at me.
So never. So you never get the chance.
It's hard to yell at you when you're in the back cutting up a Wrangler,
Well, that's you
your
never put
incentive.
the shop by the house. The wife can come out and check on them. You got to be
there
6-7
you go.
miles away.
Now you've convinced me to get a what was that farm shed?
Farm shop.
Yeah. You need a farm shop. That's
Oh man. And I'm going back on your
Wait,
Instagram.
dude, your latest post on your Instagram is your registration fee. Is it really $10?
no. That was at the Oklahoma Turnpike.
Okay.
They sent me a bill.
I was like, holy crap, dude.
We're moving.
Yeah, we're moving.
Pack up the
Yeah.
studio.
I'm out of here.
We're going to go to the Ozarks.
No, I think it's only license for 2 years is $50 on this thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Wow.
It's $50 a month
Yeah.
to register
exactly.
a car here.
You're doing it all wrong.
And I don't
Doing it
think
all
that,
wrong.
and that's not an exaggeration.
It's pretty damn close,
yeah,
dude.
for a full size 4-wheel drive truck, it's $600.
Yep.
Oh, that's brutal. I don't even think my insurance is that bad.
And that's for 1 year. He's saying for
That's
2
for 1
years
year.
it's
Yeah,
$50.
it's
That's
$50
for 1 year.
2 years,
Yeah.
dude.
$600 for a year
Yeah,
to
per
register
year.
a full size pickup truck.
You got to get a little F on there for farm use.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
FU, I like it. Farm
Yeah.
use. No,
that's-
officer that says that's
Here's
no,
my
it's farm
FU
use.
permit.
Farm use only. Okay, so you get you get the Jeep, you get it registered, you chop it in half, spend a year and a half building it, and
Mhm.
how long? When did you start thinking about this cross country trip?
I was listening to podcasts and somebody interviewed that Billy Creech, and he did the Dennis book of Mojave Road
yep,
Guide.
I have that book. Yeah.
And that got me listening to you guys. And it was about 6-8 months before I pitched it to one of my college buddies, who immediately said no. And then I bought the book on Amazon, had it shipped to his house, and he called me a few days later and said, "Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. I want to go."
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And there was 3 of you, right? There was 3 rigs.
Yeah. There's 2 guys I met in college, and we've hung out with ever since. And one fellow has a super clean half-ton GMC pickup truck. He buffs it, he shines it, no scratches, never took it off-roading.
Oh.
And he got a major lesson in how to travel.
Oh man.
Wow.
He took his front bumper out on fins and things in Moab.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
So most people are going to respond in one of two ways: I hate you. I'm never talking to you again for bringing me on this trip, or this was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I don't care what my truck looks like. We're wheeling every day from now on. Which way did he go?
Both. It started out, we met up in, he's from St. Louis, but we kind of ran parallel to each other and finally caught up in Texas together. And every time we get out for gas, Ryan, I'm sorry about your pickup. It's okay, man. And by the end of it, I was sorry about what I'd done to his pickup.
Oh, so he came across from, I'm looking at the map because I'm ignorant when it comes to anything other than where I live. So he came across.
He was on
St. Louis, and you guys met in Texas. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, we got on Highway 40,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just one of those. We took off about the same time, and we were within a few miles of each other. But our first fuel stop together was in Texas.
Okay.
I don't get very far on a tank of gas. It's damn Jeep.
So what was your first stop before or in your travel or on this trip? Where was the first? Was it
I
Moab?
had to take a dump in Oklahoma.
Okay. All right, very interesting.
so
Where was your next
hold
bowel movement?
Well, I held that one on till New Mexico.
Yeah,
That was
okay.
good.
Wow,
That
that's
was
a
one.
good stretch.
That's a
A
big
good strong
stretch.
colon. You got a very healthy digestive tract there, depending on what you ate.
No.
So let's talk about the trip a little bit. I should have brought up the email, but I'll try to do that right now. You went from in Missouri all the way down through the Southwest, Mojave Trail up to Utah, and then Colorado, and then all the way back. Correct? What was the total mileage you did on that?
Just over 3550, I think.
Wow.
About 9 days.
That's a lot of driving, man.
My buddy in St. Louis, his truck said he burned 215 gallons of gas. And I'm worse than that, but I don't want to know what I did.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
No, worth every penny.
Yeah.
So you what was the first? I think what Matt was getting to. What was the first off? Well, hold on. Before you went on this $3,500 100 mile trip, did you test the rig locally? Did you go wheeling in the rig?
Oh, yeah. It's I drove it for almost 2 years here on the farm.
Okay.
I put 25,000 miles on it. And I did ring and pinion and Positrax about 1,500 miles before I left on vacation.
Okay.
But other than that, everything was pretty well worked out, tested, figured out, patched up.
So you were
cobbled
comfortable
together.
when you left. You were like, "This thing's solid. I'm not worried about making it." Okay.
So you didn't do what we would have done.
Yeah,
Like,
we would have built it and then drove
No.
away the next day as shit was falling off of the truck. Right.
Well, I swapped the ring and pinion, and I worked hard and took no worthless trips just driving it to put miles on it, trying to get some miles before taking off
Yeah.
to hear if they howled or not.
Yeah. So you went mid Missouri to New Mexico, right? That was the first leg.
That down to Santa Rosa. It was 12 or 14 hours, or 12 hours of driving that first day.
Oof.
And showed up in Santa Rosa, drank a bunch of Coors beer and a little bit of whiskey and went to bed. Skipped dinner.
Nice.
Been snacking in the truck. Don't need all that food.
And then day 2, it says Santa Rosa to Laughlin.
Yeah, and we actually hit Laughlin about 5 and bought some groceries, and we made it out in the desert 6-7 miles and camped our night in Laughlin. Didn't get blown out. We just
I was gonna say.
I was waiting for someone to ask.
Yeah.
No 4D blowout?
No 4D blowout to
No.
Laughlin.
But the
That's too
terrible
bad. Maybe-
Hertz gas station in Laughlin is terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That place is
Everything in
gross.
Laughlin's terrible. Everything in Laughlin's terrible. So from Laughlin, when you say you went to the desert, that was the start of the Mojave.
Yeah,
And you
yeah, we
made-
caught it right there by the Ave Casino and just
Avi.
went in.
Yep.
Avi, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So you did the same thing we did. So you go in there and you said you went about 5-6 miles and stopped and camped in there.
Yeah. Found a nice rock,
Okay.
quiet.
What were when you? I mean, you read the books. You've probably watched a 1,000 videos. When you first hit the Mojave Trail and went in that 5 miles, and I'm going to assume it was starting to get dark at that point. What were your thoughts when you first got
Yeah.
to the desert? When you first hit it?
Well, that first few miles is just burned up campers and lawn chairs and couches, and you're just like, what a dive.
Welcome to Laughlin.
That was actually that was Bullhead, I think, before you actually got into Laughlin.
And once we got further out there and there wasn't as much trash and debris, and we were all so cranked up when we hit the desert. We've been on the road for I don't even know how many hours, but we didn't even air down. We had our coolers full and we were hauling ass on rough roads. And yeah, it was,
And that
there's no stopping
Yeah,
us.
that first 5 miles is pretty washboardy. It's pretty. It's not sandy or smooth.
No, and we didn't even air down. We just hammered, bam, 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 bam.
So you get out there, Mojave Road.
Did you end up going to Fort
Paiute?
Fort Paiute, or did you make any stops on the Mojave?
Yeah, we did go to Fort Paiute. They'd filled some of the rock or some of that trail in, smoothed it up some. It was pretty decent driving up there, and we caught a few of the springs, but we didn't go to the lava tubes. We skipped that. Didn't go to the Slot Canyon. We stuck to the road proper.
Yeah.
Whatever the book said, straight shot. Just run it that way.
So what were your takeaways from the Mojave Road? Did it meet your expectation? Did it?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be back out there, and I'm going to hit it again before I wear out the tires that are on the truck right now.
Wow.
Nice. That's a commitment
Yeah,
because, like, for us, it's a 4-hour drive to get started. For you, it's a 2.5 day drive to get started.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. That's nothing like that here. We drove 150 miles. We saw 4 other vehicles.
Yeah.
And that's from my house to the other side of St. Louis. You just don't get remote like that here in Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's one we talk about, California and all the congestion in the cities and the traffic, but you can also, with minimal effort, get completely isolated. You can be so far off the grid that no one's going to find you.
And still have phone service.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet I had phone service 80% of the time or better out there.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better in years past.
You didn't have AT&T though.
Yeah.
Probably had Verizon or something.
Or Sprint.
So you actually physically spent 3 nights on Mojave?
No, just the 2 nights.
Okay.
Sunday night, just west of Laughlin, and then about 17 Mile Points where we camped on Monday night.
Okay. Yeah, we've never camped over there.
Nah, it's usually like we usually stay at the halfway point.
Yeah. So how'd the truck do on the trip? I mean, the way you have it geared up, I'm assuming it was awesome for that trip. But what's your takeaway from the truck?
It's underpowered. Everything is, but it's so stinking heavy. It weighs 5,300 pounds before I get in the cab and load it down.
And then it weighs 5,800 pounds.
I'm going to guess closer to 6
with the beer and everything. And the fridge.
I like to party.
Well, that's why you made a flatbed, just so you could put cases of beer in there.
It's if you run across the scales here at the farm scales, it weighs about 300 pounds heavier on the rear axle than it does on the front.
Oh, wow. Well, is there anything you could do to give it more power other than engine swap? I mean, like Banks exhaust and intake, or
it'll get an LS swap eventually, but I'm not in a rush.
That sounds amazing.
So what was before we get into you went up to Moab and whatever? Was there anything in particular that you really liked about Mojave, other than the isolation?
The nighttime silence still just blows me away. That first night, there was one lonely, inconsistent cricket. And that was it.
That's Frank.
Yeah, we met him. Did you get any wins?
Beg your pardon?
Did you get any wins? Wind, like, was it windy?
Second
Were you
night,
flatulent?
I broke it a few times, yeah. No, the second night, about 3 a.m., the wind whipped up and it started raining, and there was a lightning storm off in the mountains beside us. And it was just beautiful.
Wow.
But it was blowing lawn chairs and beer cans, and it was,
Yeah.
I was nervous, didn't know what to expect. But it it was amazing to be out there for it.
Yeah, that's the one downside of being out there sometimes is the wind picks up and it just comes through like a jet turbine, and you just, there was one year I was like, you know what? F it. And I got in my truck and because the tent, I couldn't keep the tent up. I couldn't go to sleep. I just got in my truck and curled up and went to sleep for the night because it was so bad. And then in the morning, tent poles are broken. Like you said, chairs are all over the place. But that's just part of it being out there. So, we've never been out there in the rain, and I've never seen it rain.
And when I say rain, I was like 100 raindrops on my hood. It wasn't
okay.
Not enough to count, but enough to lay in your tent and hear raindrops hit it and go, oh shit, am I going to die?
Flash floods. It's windy. It's going to rain. I'm going to die. No, I can imagine.
Is this how I go out?
I'm never going back. So 2 days in the Mojave, and then you immediately turn and head. So once you get to Barstow, head north and go towards Moab, correct?
Well, yeah, we ran up to Vegas and stayed the night at a casino.
Which one?
Had more beer. South Point.
Okay.
First one we hit. Had a parking garage. Didn't give a shit. Left all my stuff on the truck bed. Just whatever's here in the morning will be here in the morning.
You know what? I like that. I don't need this much. If somebody wants this shit bad enough, I guess just take it. I'm hauling it around. You're kind of doing me a favor.
Unless you got to wash up when you get home.
Yeah,
that's right.
So stop at Vegas.
Yeah, and then went up north to St. George, Utah, and then took off. Drove through Zion and Escalante, and we ended up a couple hours out of Moab that night.
Okay. Did you guys camp in Moab, or did you stay at a hotel or something?
2 nights of camping in Moab, and I don't even remember what the name of the campsite was. It was right next to a high school football field. Terrible place on a Friday night.
I can imagine that'd be bad. That'd be horrible.
Well, it's a matter of perspective. If you're really into football, it's like, hey, I'm just going to walk over here and watch some football. Maybe that's a good thing.
It was all right.
Okay.
It was a nice campground. It was clean, had great showers, great shitters.
Oh.
Good place to brush your teeth. All the bases covered.
Shit, shower, shave.
Yeah, shit, shower, shave.
Yep.
Shave.
Wait, oh, yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't shaved in 10 years.
It's just the 3 S's, that's...
the bases.
Shit, shower, and then shit again.
Right. Yeah, if you don't shave...
That's the dirty Eric. You got to start over.
Yeah.
You got to re-shower after that.
Yeah.
So you spent a total of, you said 2 nights? Is that 3 days and 2 nights in Moab?
Really, it was probably 2 full days, and then we woke up and took off on the highway to try and get across Colorado.
Okay.
So we only ran 3 trails, I think, in Moab.
What were your thoughts on Moab?
It's like Jackson Hole for off-roaders. It's all women in track pants and fancy vehicles and
Go on.
yoga pants. There's a lot of good scenery out there. Red Rock's pretty.
It is it's absolutely
Go
gorgeous.
back to the track pants.
Yeah.
Elaborate a little
Look,
more.
you just did your pregame on your YouTube channel. You know all about the track pads.
Don't tell me. Don't tell everybody my secret.
Your pregame show.
Algorithms.
Moab's cool. It's just so many people and so many side-by-sides and dirt bikes. And, it's the opposite of being out in the desert. You couldn't get away from people in Moab.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I'm not missing out by never have gone to Moab?
You have to go at the right time of the year. If you go in the heavy season, you're right. It's a billion trucks on the trail. I think if you go in the right time of the year, then it's still worth going. From my perspective, the Red Rock, the scenery, the trails, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's something I want to do again.
The hot pants,
the track pants,
I forgot what he called them.
You
got to
go see it once. It is neat to go and see and wheel. It's amazing what your truck will climb out there. That slick rock is just incredible how it'll grip your tires.
It's a really, because there's a couple spot fins and things as an example, or 7 Mile Rim. There's a couple spots where you're on a camber and you're like, I'm going over. It's just this. I'm not. It's not going to happen. You just you make it all the way around. You make it all the way up. It's really cool.
There's one of the last hills on fins and things. We crawled up on our hands and knees just to see what was on the other side of it, and then drove up in the pickups and barely spun a tire.
Yeah, it was easier.
Wow.
It's easier to get in some of those places. It's easier to drive than it is to walk.
To climb.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
like,
it's-
you crawled up. What was something wrong with your truck? Like, I'm not crawling up anything.
Shy in the chat room
So,
is saying
that's why I bring my kids. Like, crawl up that hill, see what's on the other side.
Shy in the
me.
chat room is saying that he's going to Moab tomorrow.
Nice.
Go have fun, Shy.
Awesome.
Be safe. Let us know how it
Be a
goes when you
good
get
time.
back. Yeah. So so you spent 2 days of wheeling in Moab. How did your buddies do? How did they feel about it? Did they like it?
Well, one guy took off and went back to New Orleans when we left Vegas. And then the one that messed up in his half-ton pickup truck, the one that wadded up his front bumper, he was so stressed out from trying to do fins and things that he didn't even want to wheel the next day. He just wanted to go walk around
wow.
town, sightsee. He has brush scratches all up and down the passenger side of it. He's buffed them out 4 or 5 times. They're still there.
Oh, you lost a friend on that trip, Mike.
He wanted to hang out last weekend. He went and rode with me down in Mark Twain National Forest. So he's not completely out. He's just
okay.
almost.
Oh, so now he just needs a second vehicle he can wheel and not have to worry about his pretty truck.
The boy done put Bill Stein shocks on the back, so he's spending money. He's wanting to party.
Okay. All right.
He can do like Donato did and just put that spray
Yes.
coating. It was like a clear.
Yeah.
No offense,
That
Donato,
was-
but like I don't like scratching up my paint, so I'm gonna mar it up with like this coating, like a
It
texture
didn't mar
coating.
it though. He just rolled
Yeah,
it
he
on
just
with a
rolled-
roller. and then
Whatever. I
pressure
would
washed-
rather just have the stripe, racing stripes than just driving around with. Did that? Wait. So that stuff he washed off after every.
pressure wash.
Oh man. Okay.
This is actually yesterday's text message chain. He was wanting to wrap his truck in pallet wrap, and then he was asking about crash wrap. And then we're looking at that
Wow.
magnetic armor. This was yesterday's text chain exactly.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a roll on.
I get. Okay.
There's a roll on protector you
It's
can.
like
it's like a film.
Yeah, like
that
a
you
film.
roll on with a literal paint roller, and it turns into like a rubberized film, protects your paint, and then you can pressure wash it off afterwards. Tell them to use that stuff. But I feel like
I'll
I
have
feel
to
like
check that one
Donato
out.
said it was like $100, $200.
It ain't cheap.
Yeah.
That's Ryan's spending more than that at the detailed garage right now. So
It's cheaper than the buff job.
yeah,
Most things are cheaper than the buff
Most
job.
things are cheaper
depends.
than the-
And the detail?
what happens in Laughlin stays in Laughlin.
Yeah.
I was. Thank you, Tommy. I was gonna say like that sounds like a Laughlin joke right there. We get a good buff.
$20 is $20.
$20. $20.
That's
Something Laughlin buff jobs 4D. Done.
Blowout.
All right,
Got 'em all
guys.
in.
I'm done
Show's
this
over.
episode. Yeah.
Good night.
Show's over. Okay, so Moab for 2 days, and then Colorado. Did you wheel it in Colorado at all?
No, we were getting so tight on time and schedule that we stuck to the big roads and kept after it pretty hard. I would probably skip Moab and hit Colorado next time we go out to the desert. And just go hit some of those passes.
Yeah, there's
Not
some
even anything.
iconic wheeling in Colorado that we don't, none of us have ever experienced. Black Bear Pass comes to mind, and I'd love to do it someday, but I've never been up there.
It's right when we crossed the border into Colorado. My buddy in the full-size GMC was like, "Man, you drove me right into the Busch Light can. This is awesome."
That's cool.
So his favorite part was the Busch Light.
Everybody's got to be a fan of something.
I don't disagree.
Guys, you should have went to Golden, Colorado.
Oh,
Coors Light HQ, man.
No need to.
if
do
it's
that.
good enough to bootleg, it's good enough to drink.
So then, did you guys stay in Colorado for the night?
No, we made it all the way back to Garden City, Kansas.
Oh,
Stayed at a
wow.
really nice Best Western with a bar.
There you go.
Nice. That sounds like a good Best Western to me.
Yeah, and then we were home I was probably home by 4 or 5 the next day.
Man.
So it was like back to work or something. Like, did you get time off of your job to do? I don't know what you do for a
No.
living
Oh.
or
I rolled into the farm shop, started throwing junk off the back of the truck, and went home and showered. Came back in the next day and started after it again.
He works on a farm.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally works on a farm. That's why he has a farm shop.
that's the best part about
Is there-
Thanksgiving is you don't have to hang out with the family. Come into work.
Well, I have to hang out with Matt and Casey on Thursday, so I'm not going to make any comments.
You don't have to.
About the best. I gotta
you
go to the
get-
studio, guys.
You get to.
I gotta
Yeah.
go to the studio. I can't. Go to the farm shop. That's gonna be my new code, honey. I'm gonna be in the farm shop. So overall, I mean, that's 3,500 miles and several days of covering a lot of different terrain. Overall, what's your takeaway of the trip? Like, how do you feel about the navigation, the way the truck did, the gear? Like, what?
Yeah, didn't Cody give you some screwed up maps, and did you follow them? And were they?
It's all right. I missed so many turns on there. I'm just as bad as everybody else. Those things are impossible to figure out.
Well,
No,
yeah.
it-
I mean, Cody's been having problems with them for a long time. So
back to my question of overall, what's your takeaway of the trip?
It was amazing. Absolutely best time I've had in a long time. And I look forward to doing it again. I don't know what I'm going to improve upon. Probably figuring out how to stack a cooler and keep it from shaking up and beating up beer cans so bad. Man, it was perfect.
we're going to refrigerators. That's what
Yeah,
everybody's doing
that's-
now. It sounds like like a foo-foo thing to do. But you would probably know by now, like all those miles you drove, and I'm sure all the ice you went through.
How much did you spend on ice?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I can drink warm beer as long as it's beer. I'm okay with it.
Wow.
So he's
Dude.
learned how to gauge.
He's a
the
real
system.
man.
Yeah, he's
Right.
like, I don't give a shit about what temperature it is.
Yeah, he's learned.
Right.
Beer
We're
is
over here
beer.
like, well, you're spending so much money on ice. He's all, fuck the ice. Like, just
Like, what ice?
he's figured out a
Yeah.
way around the system. He broke it.
As long as I don't get the shits, I'll deal about anything.
Anything?
That's gotta be a T-shirt.
Yeah, as long as I don't get this shit.
Yeah, well, you got out of Laughlin just in time.
I don't know. That Kansas City Best Western could have got him too.
Nah, that was a nice one.
So if you were to do it again, you said you would skip Moab and go to Colorado. Is that because you weren't excited about Moab, or you want to see Colorado?
Probably more about wanting to see Colorado. And Moab, you're so limited by what your friends are capable of. You know, a buddy in a stock
Just tell me
pickup
about
truck,
it.
he did fins and things, and after he caved in the front bumper, he was done. He didn't want to hit anything exciting. And so we were running just a glorified gravel road
Sounds
from
like
then
you need
on
better
out.
friends. Is all it sounds like
Yeah,
to me.
you got to wheel with guys that are just hunks of shit. You know, they're just driving around beaters. You know, they don't give a shit. That's what you got to wheel
11-year-old
with.
pickup truck, you're supposed to put dents in it.
Yeah, you
You
need
should
to-
have already had dents in it.
Yeah. Sorry, Ryan. We're gonna commandeer your buddy here and go wheeling with him, so you don't have to. So, would you change anything about the route out to Mojave? Like, I mean, there are some things in New Mexico to see. Like, would you do the Mojave again, or would you skip it now that you've done it once?
I would probably do it again unless somebody really pitched me hard on going to Death Valley, or I can be talked into about anything.
It sounds
But,
like it.
Man, that Mojave was just awesome. It was really something to see and completely out of my element to just go and run it. I was expecting to show up and see glorified gravel roads, and it was actual driving.
Yeah, it's wheeling, and it's funny how like you talk about
Well,
it being
I
outside.
think a majority of 50% of it is pretty easy, or most of it's pretty easy, but you still have to pay attention to ruts or you know. But and then there's a handful of challenging spots. How did your rig do on the west end, like where all the sand is? Did it have problems getting through there?
No, it's Positrack front and rear on 33-inch tires, and it's got fancy monotube shocks on it. You're not going to phase it on anything like that. Like I said, I was running with two
Well,
other
you
stock.
know,
I was just
Stock-
thinking
stock
because
pickups.
the weight. You
I
know?
think his Jeep
Well,
kind of
now,
operates.
did you have to chug a bunch of your beer to lighten up in order to get through some of
Yeah,
those?
but you're still
areas?
carrying it just in
No,
a different
I
container.
Yeah, I feel like Tommy's Jeep is got the same attitude that Tommy does. Like, you can talk me into anything if you try.
As long as I ain't got the shits.
I'll try anything once.
Oh yeah,
That's, how do we get that on a custom license plate for him? As long as I don't get, as long as I don't
Has
get
too many.
the shit. So we got to figure out. That's the. I think that's the name of the Jeep. Yeah, Death Valley. I don't think I've ever been to Death Valley to wheel.
I
That's-
keep pushing for
That's,
Death
that's something
Valley.
I would love to do.
it shows there's being like 180 or almost 200 miles of off-road and services about in the middle of it.
Yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
If they wanted to get more people to wheel there, they should rename it like Fun Valley.
Yeah.
It's the whole Death Valley thing. You know, it's bad for marketing. It's a bad brand.
blowout
No, they did it
Who
on
branded
purpose.
that?
They did it on purpose because they're like, this place is awesome.
That
Let's make
Tommy's
it-
like, yeah, I don't want anybody to be there. That's what I
Yeah.
like about it.
Death Valley, they're like, this place is awesome. How do we keep people out? Tell them they're going to
Yeah.
die when they
Yes.
come here.
Yeah.
But I think if you loved Mojave, you would love like Ocotillo Wells or Anza down by like the southern
Oh, yeah.
part of California.
Oh, yeah.
The real
But I need something long enough to justify driving 28 hours out there. That's the trick.
Well, plus it depends on the time of year you go because you're going to run into a bunch of people there. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
all,
but-
all
but
those
Anza-
places are packed.
Anza and Ocotillo are big enough to where even if there's a ton of people, we've been out there at Tierra del Sol, the biggest event there every year, and you still don't get congested. You see a lot of people, but there's still plenty of places for you to wheel.
Sure, but you're still going to go head on with somebody on a trail, and somebody's going to have to back out, or you know, that's what I think. Just speaking to Tommy for the 45 minutes or whatever, it's basically he likes the isolation. You know, Mojave Trail, you actually get out, and there's nothing out there. There's absolutely nothing, and that's again, that's why I like it. You know, it's desolate. And then you get to think about, well, how did people cross this 150 years ago? They must have really wanted to get to California, like really, really bad. And now I'm thinking about taking it to get out of California. So
if you were to do the same trip again, you would definitely hit the Mojave, skip Moab, hit Colorado. Anything else about the trip itself you'd want to change?
Oh, that's probably about it. I mean, it was, man, we got along so good. There's no complaints. It really just, I don't know if I was just lucky or dumb or whatever, but man, it worked good.
What kind of a camp setup did you have? What kind of tent?
Some Amazon cot tent I bought for $200. I've already knocked holes in it, but it's big enough for 2 people, they claim. I take up the whole dang thing. But man, it's nice.
How are the zippers? Did the zippers function okay? That's my issue.
I only had one give out, but I slept in it 4 nights, so it's got some tears in it.
Yeah, that's
It's just
it probably
But
sounds like to me it would have made it into the campfire the final night. It didn't make it.
little gorilla tape. It'll be good for another run.
Okay.
I love it. See, and here's what the reason I asked that is because you didn't have a refrigerator, you didn't have a rooftop tent, you didn't have any special like overlanding.
I bought traction boards.
Okay.
I haven't yet. I've never used them, but I got them.
Yeah, but it's not like you have a Jeep on 40s and like 60s, like fully built.
Yeah, and
Go do the Mojave Trail.
Yeah, you've got a very cool, reasonably built Jeep. You have the basic gear, a tent, and a cooler, and you did what I would consider to be an epic multi-day overlanding trip covering half of the United
Cross
States.
country, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's pretty awesome. And that goes to the, the core of some of the stuff we talk about. Just wheel what you got, get out there and do it. You don't have to go spend, the money on all of the gear right up front. eventually,
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
it makes it easier. Like the
Yeah.
fridge thing, like we've talked about. I'm not going anywhere without my Iron Man fridge anymore, ever.
You
like,
don't.
that's-
We went to SEMA.
Yeah,
You brought
dude,
the
we
I
got
took
to
it.
SEMA.
I took it with me to Vegas into the hotel
his
room.
daughter's birthday party
Thankfully-
at the park.
Yes,
He brought it. 'Cause
yes.
all the kids had to have ice
The
cream.
kids wanted ice cream, so I set the Iron Man fridge down to 0 degrees and put the ice creams, the drumsticks in there. So we had them for the party in the park.
It was
I mean,
hot
I'm not,
that day too.
I'm not going anywhere without that fridge. So just, I mean, other than the fridge, you don't need anything else.
Good seat cushion, tinted windows, sunglasses. Essentials.
Was the how comfortable is the Jeep? Like, did it change your sitting position to where you can't lean back, or
I take up the entire cab. It's all the way back. It's reclined against the back window. And if I run with the seat all the way down, my head's against the sound bar. So I go up 3 pumps where I sit just ahead of it.
Wow.
But I'm 6'4", 250 pounds. I take
Wow.
up a lot of space.
I think, yeah, it doesn't matter what vehicle you're in. I think you're going to take up most of
No.
the cab.
I tried fitting in a new Gladiator, and I can't get in the driver's seat and get comfortable without my head against the sound bar. I don't know what's going on with new vehicles.
How well you're in your side tangent here in your Frontier.
Yeah.
You're 6'1"?
6'1".
Do you have any clearance issues in there?
Nope.
I didn't notice. I mean, I'm 5'10"
Yeah.
on a good day with the right shoes.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the seat reclines. Like I have headroom. Good
Yeah,
sitting
I was just
position.
curious if there was I didn't even think about it. I don't ever think about it because, like I said, I'm 5'9", 5'10", and
Oh.
so it's, I can fit.
Lucky.
Yeah, I mean there's plenty of headroom. So I think even at his size,
He's also very injury prone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not that lucky.
Yeah. So what I should have asked is, can you get a cast easily
Yeah.
into the car if you need to have surgery? How hard is it to drive one-handed? So when
What are you doing with the other one?
it's usually in a sling.
You got to pay money to know. You want to know that answer?
You want to get blown out? Let's go to Laughlin and find out.
Oh, God, that's a long way to
That's on the
go.
Patreon account.
It's a long way to go for some disappointment.
it's trail chasers.
Yeah,
After dark.
you don't have to go that far to disappointment. My bedroom's at the end of the hallway here.
For Tommy to meet up with you.
No bueno.
When do you think you're going to do this trip again?
Oh, it'll probably be a couple of years. My son's 4.5, and he really wants to go, but he says I need a better Jeep before he'll go with me.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah. So yeah, been burned by a toddler.
that's
A little rough.
harsh. Toddlers are the worst, though.
You should tell him this is your first car. You
Yeah.
better just watch your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Watch what
I
you
ain't sharing
say.
it with him. He's got to build his own.
Oh man, that's
Yeah, I was gonna ask something. What
Give
do
him one of those trackers that you're chasing
yeah,
cows
one
with.
of those, one of those geo trackers. Yeah, that'd be a first truck. No, I was gonna ask, like, you plan on taking some of these trips like once a year, or as
It's all going to kind of depend on my wife's schedule, my schedule, and what's
Yeah.
going on in the world. It would be nice. I don't know that I can squeeze out another 9-day next year, but maybe I'll run down and do some mountains in Arkansas or something like that. Or I guess they're hills in Arkansas, but we'll call them mountains.
yeah.
What-
That's always the hard part is carving out the time to go
Yeah.
do it. I would love to do a trip like this. It's just carving the time.
Yeah. And you just have to pick a date, stick with it, and don't take any excuses.
Yeah.
That's what we've learned. Like we've
Yeah,
kind of
if it's not on the calendar, it just keeps getting pushed.
Keeps getting pushed. But I was gonna say, what's the wheeling like there compared to out west that you noticed? What's the biggest difference?
Mud and dirt. Here we get into some soft ground,
Mm-hmm.
and out there, you guys don't have dirt. We don't have a lot of dirt, but you guys don't have any.
Well, it's dirt. It's just not
more
mud.
sand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
more
more
sandy
sand.
Yeah,
than mud.
It's very different. I don't know how to describe the difference. We're not muddy like the East Coast wheeling you see on the internet, but we're not not dry, and we don't have the traction to climb the steep stuff.
Yeah, I'm picturing in my head,
It's more clay-like,
in my
right?
ignorance, is the forest leaves and stuff that get composted into the dirt, so it's like topsoil. That's what I'm picturing. Like more of a topsoil.
If we're lucky, it's topsoil. Otherwise, it's rocks and topsoil mixed together.
Well, if you grab a rock at the right time, it could be traction.
Yeah, or you just chuck it down the hill too.
Oh, yeah. And ours is much more compact dirt with sand on top of it.
Yeah,
depending on where you're at. You know what?
And we have so much more rain than you guys have too.
Yeah.
Humidity. It'll be,
Humidity
fog
sucks.
every morning. Yeah, it does.
The next time you come out west, another good spot would be if you did Mojave, then just went up the backside to Big Bear and spent 2 days in Big Bear instead of doing Moab. I think if you got into Big Bear,
Is there a lot of hot pants?
There's a lot of hot pants in Big Bear Village.
There's a
Most
lot
of the time it's Casey though.
track-
It's like
track
Casey running around Big Bear Village with his track pants on. But I think if you're if the terrain, the change in terrain from what you saw at the Mojave to Big Bear would be drastic enough to where you go, oh my, I feel like I'm in a completely different state. Like it's a huge difference to go from the low desert to the California mountains.
Yeah, that'd probably be all right.
Yeah, I bet it would be. I mean, Casey will show you running his hot pants.
track pants.
Oh, track
He
pants.
said
Track
track pants.
The difference between hot pants and track pants. I think track pants have stripes down
No,
the
they
side.
start as track pants, but after you run around, they become hot pants.
No, I think
No?
I think
Can't
it's
give it to you.
stripes.
It's two different kinds of pants.
Can't give it to you.
Okay, ask Casey. He knows.
What's in your closet?
A lot of track pants.
A lot of track pants.
So, dude, I gotta say, like this. First of all, you just seem like a really cool guy, like a really cool dude to hang out with. I wish you were closer so we could hang out.
Yeah, no, I wish I had done the Mojave with you.
That was
Yeah.
going to be the next thing I said.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go wheeling the next time you come out. So next time you come out to California, you got to let us know in advance so we
we'll
can
meet
plan
you
a
in.
meeting.
We'll meet you in Laughlin.
Yeah.
Get blown out. We get blown out in Laughlin.
40 blowout in Laughlin.
40 blowouts.
And I'm super impressed with just your whole. Well, I want to do something with this Jeep, so I'm gonna chop it in half and go build it. And then you know what? I want to see the West Coast. I'm gonna plan a trip and go. Like I love the whole F it, I'm doing it attitude. It's super cool, man.
That's the only way you're going to get it done.
That's true, man. See? That's what I keep telling these
Get
guys.
after it and go.
What do you keep telling us, Jose? Go
Well,
ahead.
I don't know. Apparently, I keep sending texts to the wrong number. So
Yeah, I don't know if the only time we ever talk is in the studio here, and apparently I'm missing out on a bunch of
Yeah,
texts
there's a
where
lot
you're
of
where you're
stuff.
advising and you have a lot of life stories and advice. But yeah, I do. I think that's great. Like your I don't want to say sense of adventure, but that is something we don't see that often. As somebody just say, I'm going to build this rig, and people build rigs, but then to go, literally across the country with it, not have any major issues. You didn't have any tire blowouts. I had to reference, make sure it's tire blowouts or any other issues like mechanically with your vehicles other than the bumper.
No, I did have a valve core when I aired down that wouldn't reseal, and that was the most extreme problem I had.
Yeah, that would have been a major. We'd have had it. That's like a beer break
Yeah,
right there.
turn
Everybody
around.
shut
Everybody-
it down. Shut it down.
Turn around. We're going back.
We
We're
gotta
going
think
back
about
at this
this.
point. It's not
Calling it a day, going home. I'm
Come
done.
on, set up camp. Set up camp here.
We can see the
We're on
road.
the, we're on the highway
the
still.
road.
Well,
Okay, we've talked about this before, but the group that we used to wheel with all the time,
beer break.
100%.
150 yards.
If that was the
Beer
case, if one of the valve cores didn't seal up, they would have just let it air down and be like, "Well,
just kept going.
I guess this is where we're spending the weekend."
Well,
This is where I die. This is how it goes.
this is it, guys.
This
When
is
we
it.
run out of air is where we're camping.
Yes, this is
Done.
apparently
And
this is
still
where we're gonna
driving 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those guys are fun.
Yeah, they were. Well, look, man, I very much appreciate you sharing your adventure with us and telling us about it, both in the email when you were getting ready to go and then coming on the show and talking about it. It's great to hear, like, you know, your experience, especially when you compare like where you grew up and what your normal day-to-day life is and what your thoughts are on the desert. Because sometimes, in all honesty, we get
spoiled.
We get spoiled to it. You know, we've done the Mojave a dozen times, and it's like oh man, I love it out here, but you don't realize how different and isolated and cool it is when it's, you know, when it was your first time. So I thank you for bringing that sense of appreciation back. Yeah.
I appreciate the information you guys provided me with and sharing maps, and this has been great. I love visiting with y'all.
Yeah, this is. I want to come to the farm shop and hang out, and then I want you to cut Matt's Frontier and stretch it.
You could try and cut it. It's probably you need a plasma
It's made out of
cutter at least.
vibranium.
Yeah,
I ain't scared. Anything's cut.
I am.
It's always easier when it's in your own vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the truth.
I
That's
100%
definitely the truth.
agree. Yeah, Casey's chopped up a couple vehicles in his time that weren't his.
You want me to do what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
All right, man. Well,
What?
look, I really do appreciate the time, and you've been great to talk to and hang out with, and hopefully we get to connect with you either virtually or in person sometime in the future, and looking forward to meeting you out on the Mojave or something sometime soon.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right, so we'll end it right there. That was great, man. I seriously, that was a great interview. Really great to hear your viewpoints and perspective on the trip, and super impressed with all of it.
Oh, thank you.
He overlands like I do. Just as long as I got beer, I'm good.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, you can't die out there as long as you got some fluid to put back in you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's the only reason I want the fridge is just to make sure to keep the beer cold.
No, you know why the British drink warm beer?
Because they have
Lucas
to.
makes Lucas makes refrigerators too.
Who? What?
Oh, Lucas did all the shitty British electrical components.
Oh, I missed
Sorry.
that one. I
Yeah.
missed
Yeah,
that
that's,
one all completely. Yeah.
My bad, guys.
I'm thinking.
Sorry.
I'm thinking. George Lucas, Star Wars
a
makes
guy.
Who the
refrigerators.
fuck is Lucas?
That guy sounds like an asshole.
That's that guy.
So yeah, we'll get this edited and it'll go out this Thursday like our normal schedule show does. I'll send you an email when it goes out and let you know.
Awesome.
And
Best
then,
Thanksgiving ever.
oh, that's right. I forgot it's going out on Thanksgiving. And then yeah, seriously, if you plan on another trip and plan on coming out, man, let us know. We'll connect and hang out.
Absolutely, will do.
So, all right. Anything else? Anything else before we let you have the rest of your night in the farm shop, and then I have to talk to these knuckleheads for the rest of the time?
Oh, it's 9:30. I'm going to go home and hope the kids sleep.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the time difference.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were getting off work, and I went to the bar and drank a 6-pack.
oh, there you go. Damn, dude. Oh, well,
Nice.
You know, dinner.
Yeah, usual stuff.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. You have a great night, and
Thank you, sir.
we'll talk to you next time.
thank you.
All right, thank you. See you now. Bye.
See you, man.
All right, that
Buttons.
was he was super cool, man. I really like that guy. All right, we didn't really talk about what's next, but we'll talk. You want to talk about the install this weekend?
Yeah, does the bear shit in the woods?
What?
Where?
Why am I saying what way?
I just don't know that I want to hear Casey on that microphone the whole time talking about the
Is it shitty?
It ain't great. I'll tell you that much. It
Yeah,
ain't. It ain't great compared to the
I'll just nod.
the microphone. The microphone you had.
Can you
Hey,
nod with your mouth open a little bit?
So let's.
If I get closer, is it better?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Open.
Yes.
Open.
Hey, jackasses, will you stop for a second? Seriously, Casey, try turning the laptop a little bit to your right. I think. Yeah, turn it more, and then now try to get a little closer.
Yeah, there you go.
Get a
Little closer. I'm not. No, you fuckers.
Hello?
Can you breathe a little
Yeah,
heavier?
Is that better?
I don't know. I can't hear shit because jackasses won't shut up.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
What?
Is that better?
No. It's we have to figure out your microphone. It's just not. It's
Youths.
yeah, because I mean I want to talk about the install. You're going to be doing most of the talking, and you sound like
All right.
like
You
ass,
sound like garbage.
like garbage. Try one more time to change your input
Personality.
Yeah.
setting. Try one more time to change your input setting on the computer.
Dude, it's the mic is shit. It finally bit the dirt.
That's a new mic.
New to him.
No, it was new when I handed it to him a month ago.
Billy says you're talking into a toilet. Are you talking into a toilet? What? An empty toilet or a full toilet? It sounds like
Well, if it was full, it wouldn't echo like that.
I don't know. I've never spoken into a full toilet before, so I don't know. I'll take your word for it, Jose.
I can get a good look at it.
And
we're off the rails. Let's go ahead and finish out.
I was gonna say I feel like we should just let this play out the way it is. Case, put it back to the internal microphone for now.
Yeah, I got it there now.
All right, so
I don't know, man.
we'll have to fix Casey's mic. Let's
No worky.
Is that a euphemism?
It's the government. It's trying to sabotage us. It's trying to sabotage our success, dude.
That's all it takes. Couple of microphone. Yeah.
Can
who
anybody
cares?
see how fucking annoyed I am right now?
What do you want?
I'm trying to work on Casey's audio, and
Do
you guys
it.
won't shut up. I can't hear anything.
Just do
All right,
it.
go ahead.
Fix
Go
it
ahead.
already.
Casey,
Go
were
ahead.
you talking to the microphone? Does it sound decent? No, not I mean like the laptop.
Hello.
All right, it's good. It's good enough. We'll go with it. We'll talk about the install.
That was
I
it.
don't
That
really
was the
sound much
extent of
better
your
than I was-
repairs.
I'm done.
I
I'm
finally
over it.
shut
Hey, I'm
up.
so
Hey,
I
fucking
finally
over it.
shut up for
You
you,
don't have
to
a-
do it.
you don't have
and
a
that's
choice.
all you had.
You don't have a choice.
I'm
He has
so-
to talking to the mic.
I'm so fucking over it. The audio issues and the side conversations. 3, 2, 1.
What?
3, 2, 1. You heard me. Don't make me turn this car around. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, come on, Dad.
Hey,
We're almost there.
Litmus is talking about having a KOH
3, 2,
party
1.
in Jose
3, 2, 1.
box.
Did you not hear the 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, now we're continuing
I
with
did.
the show. Like 3 times we've restarted.
3, 2, 1. All right, now we'll start this show. God damn it.
Yeah, apparently there's gonna be a KOH party in my box, but
What?
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever that.
it's
means.
official.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we did a thing this weekend. We did a cool thing this weekend. So as you, for those of you that are on our email list, you would have got a notification that you got a blog post today. There was a blog post written by Casey a few weeks ago about it was basically the 1-year review of Blue Thunder, the 2014 Nissan Frontier, and he'd written that a couple weeks. Actually, he wrote it before SEMA, and then with all the other stuff going on, we hadn't posted it yet. But I thought it was a good opportunity to post the 1-year review at that point, and then talk about this. So go to trailchasers.net/blog, and you can read that article. As you guys, we've alluded to it. I don't know if we've actually talked about it, but we were able to get an Ironman 4x4 America Foam Cell Pro full suspension kit for Casey's Frontier. And all the parts
Came with the fancy upper aluminum
Yes.
right? Like
Forged.
cast
The
forged,
fancy
forged
everything.
aluminum. Sorry.
Forged
I don't
aluminum.
know the difference between cast and forged anyhow.
forged aluminum control
yes.
arms.
hmm Very light, very fancy.
Some badass stout coilovers.
Thick.
Some thick ass rear shocks.
Just how I like them.
A new leaf pack, bushings,
Everything. Complete
Everything.
suspension system.
full kit,
Yeah.
full kit. And so Casey's vehicle had a quote suspension something on it, which basically consisted of some Bilstein shocks.
With this, I think it was the stock
You think
Stock
those are stock?
coilovers.
stock coilovers with a
Stock
Bilstein
coilovers
spacer
with
on
a,
it.
Yep.
and an aftermarket control arm. That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
So it looked
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was like a hodgepodge put together kit, right? And so it already had somewhat of a lift. So we don't have a full comparison from stock ride height to where it was, where it ended up. But everybody came over to the house on Sunday, and we got started. We started with the front end, started ripping stuff off, and as usual, Casey,
Marred up your driveway.
yeah, my brand new
I know.
driveway.
I'm
I
actually.
tried
Brand-
cleaning it.
I'm hitting all the buttons to knives, baby.
Yeah, how do I I'm just going to turn
Just
down.
mute. I'll call in.
All right, now we can continue with the show. We can.
Gavin?
Damn it! I forgot that I had the controller over here. I could turn them down. So we start with the front end, rip the old stuff off, and then
Oh, real quick. I mean, that was a pretty straightforward install, right? On that truck, like
Super
it's pretty
straightforward.
damn-
super straightforward. I mean,
I think we had some because we did my truck last year or whatever. So there was some things that some knowledge that we had gained. You know, as far as I think we fought with the upper control arm on the driver's side with my truck a little bit. You know, but having had that experience, like, oh yeah, that's right, I had to go this angle or whatever and jiggle.
You know what it was, Matt? Is that somebody already flipped that bolt for us? It was the one bolt that wants to come out.
Oh,
And
you're
hit
right.
the steering arm.
Yep.
So whoever put those other arms on already flipped the bolt, so
Yeah.
it just came right out.
Nope, that's true. That was a big one. That saved a half hour or 20 minutes.
it
Yeah.
did.
I wonder if it's the same way in my truck if we ever switch out the suspension. If that,
You're never
Yeah,
gonna take
it's
that
never-
off roading.
it's
You don't
never-
need to worry about it.
Yeah, don't
Um,
even
So let's start with the unboxing. So we got all the
want
stuff.
to be Trident.
Yeah.
it's the handle.
It's yeah.
The
The
one that
mythical
we tried.
trident.
So we got all the components, set them in the driveway, and unboxed them, and I think all of us were initially taken aback by the girth. We commented multiple times on the size of the components, specifically the rear shocks. When you
The suspension was big too.
yes, it was, yes, it was.
I thought you were going to say the girth of the crew, like of all of us standing around looking at each other, like we're pretty girthy,
That is the girth chasers.
which is true.
The
Girth chasers.
it's a pay-per-view. You gotta. There's a special subscription for that. It's on my all fans.
Nobody's paying. For
It's
that.
on my all
No,
fans.
let's go down the Patreon account.
So the rear shock, the diameter of the rear shocks was 3 times the size of the factory ones that were there, or at least the ones that we pulled off that were there. I mean, it was
At least twice.
It was significant.
It's like almost a throck, yeah.
The coilovers were not only larger in diameter, but you could tell the coil spring diameter was
Yes.
was bigger, and I'm gonna say you could better put together, like all the way around, better put together.
Yeah, because
It's-
there's no spacer on this
Yes,
one.
it was solid. And Casey made the comment, like, because I think you had asked about the spacer.
Yeah. So I was worried about because the one we took off Casey's truck was longer than the Iron Man one, but it's like that doesn't matter because of the preload and the spring.
Sorry.
Yeah, you,
Go
can,
on.
you can still get pregnant with that stuff.
Wait, really?
What?
What?
What? No, but
Not at my age, you can't.
yeah, but what he was saying is like, yeah, but the spring on the one that came off the truck is a lot softer than so it was going to sit probably the same, if not the Iron Man one.
How did he know it was softer? Was there
Drive my truck, you'll know.
Well, I mean, maybe you had the springs side by side, and there was a means to measure softness.
So the components were clearly better than what was there. I mean, that was the first thing that we noticed. And then going back to Jose's point, the install was fairly straightforward. Upper control arms and coilovers in front. Mm-hmm. Everything went. The one thing I noticed is that, like, I wish you would have cleaned it before you brought it over. I
ran through the car wash.
The car wash isn't going to wash the undercarriage.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
It was full of grease and shit, which is now all over my driveway. So that's your fault.
Newly paved.
Newly poured driveway. But the everything I think went together easier than the Ranger did.
Yes.
Both mine and when we did your boss's the other day, everything went together. It just felt like there was the right amount of clearance to get the control. I mean, the control arm in, and right amount of clearance to get the coilover in. Whereas we had to stand on the lower control arm to make room to get the coilover in on the suspension system we did on the Ranger. And we didn't have to do any of that on Casey's truck.
Well, because that coilover, like what you did, you put that spacer on the top. You just made it twice as long. Where I didn't have to put a long ass coilover in there.
Yeah,
I put a smaller coilover. We could have jacked the lower arm up a couple inches and still got the coilover in.
Yeah. So all of that, all the hardware was there. All of it came in. Even Matt and I spent 10 minutes trying to find one of the nuts for the. It was sitting right on the jack, right in front of us, and we're throwing shit around trying to find it. Got the front end done pretty quickly, and then the back. So the back
took a pizza break.
The back came with a new leaf pack, and the one. I don't even know if I want to call it an issue, but the one thing that we found was the stock U-bolts weren't long enough to cover the distance of the new leaf pack because it's thicker. So we ended up taking off the overload spring on the bottom of the leaf pack
of the new
leaf pack to be able to use the U-bolts,
which was still like 2 additional springs more than the stock setup.
And the thought was that if he needed the overload springs, and he'd just get longer U-bolts, and it'd be easy to just separate it and
slip it right in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to unbolt it or anything like that.
You'd have to unbolt
the axle, but I don't have to take the spring out.
Yeah. Did you ever find U-bolts? I cannot recall if U-bolts were shipped with it or not.
I'm usually only at home when it's dark nowadays. Not like it's dark at like 2:00. And so I went looking through my shed with a flashlight, and I have not located U-bolts.
Yeah, so it's possible that they.
So I cannot remember.
Everything got shipped here, and then I handed it over to Casey. And somewhere, if the U-bolts came, it's very likely that they got lost in the transfer. But not a big deal. We just pulled the overload spring out. Had to put a couple washers on this leaf pack bolt to make sure that it stayed tight, and then installed that and installed the rear shock.
I'm kind of glad that it went down that way, as high as that thing sits. If I would have had the U-bolts, we would have just slapped it in, and I'd have been like, oh crap. I'd be probably wanting to pull that.
Yeah, because we can
back out.
We can go. We took video of measurements of everything that we're going to try to put together later. But even without the overload spring, you still got like an inch and a half of increased ride height above what you had there before, and your truck now sits, I'd say pitched, not necessarily like before. It had a sag in the back, the Cali sag, and then we looked at Matt's truck, and Matt's truck is very level, and yours is pitched in back now, right? I mean, so you got we'll talk about how it rides, but the thought was if you start to pack the back end with gear and racks or whatever.
Your 15-person tent.
Yeah, your 15-person tent. You could throw the overload spring back in if you wanted to and get the additional support. Good, thank you, Matt.
That's what I'm here for.
After the install was all done, and again I think it took a lot less time than all four of us expected. We didn't start till 10:30, 11.
10:30, 11.
And we did a lot of stopping for videos and eating and watching football.
Watching football.
Yeah. And we were done by 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So,
I got home and Monty was like, "You're done?"
Yeah.
Yeah, where's Sancho? Is he here? Yeah. Like, what's going on here? That pool better be clean.
So after we got it done, they took it for a ride. Casey got to drive his truck. Matt drove Casey's truck. They got in Matt's truck, go for a ride. Jose filmed all the back. That we still got to post all that video stuff. But let's go back to, let's start with the install. Casey, you've done a crap ton of these installs on all kinds of different vehicles. Overall, what was your impression of the way this kit went in?
Well, I wouldn't say I've done a ton of IFS stuff. Not as much as I've done like solid axle.
Yeah, I'm just talking about suspension systems in general.
Yes, I mean, super easy. It's all, and like doing mats, knowing, what size all the different nuts and bolts were. And I had already looked for that one issue with the bolt on the driver's side for the control arm, where we had a trouble with mats because the bolt wouldn't come out because it hit the steering arm. I had already looked at that, weeks before and thought, sweet, that's, somebody already went through that for us. We don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, so, and what they're talking about is on the driver's side control arm, the rear bolt, it comes out towards the cab of the truck. And
towards the front.
Okay.
The steering arm comes down like this.
And if you try to pull the bolt out all the way, you're going to hit the steering arm boot.
So what's the fix?
And
we ended up tearing my boot.
We tore the shit out of his boot. My suggestion is, before you do this kit, buy an extra bolt.
Yeah, just cut it.
And cut that shit. And then when you put the new one in, come in from the other side.
Yeah.
Because we completely fucked up his steering arm boot. But
luckily it doesn't hold grease like that. It's not like a CV boot or something like that. It's just like a dust boot.
Yeah.
So it wasn't critical.
Das Boot.
Yeah.
So what else, Case? What else did you think? Like, what about the leaf pack install? I mean, again, everything went so smoothly. I can't think.
Yeah, it was super smooth. I was stoked even just to have the leaf pack. You saw how my truck rode. Those leaf packs were almost inverted, rather like, a normal leaf spring is shaped like that. Mine are like that. Mine were a sad face.
Yeah. It's the sad pack.
And what were your initial thoughts unboxing just looking at the hardware compared to all the other hardware you've seen as far as like quality?
I would say, well, like Cody touched on that, like the girth, everything just felt so massive.
He's always commenting on girth.
Yeah,
but go on.
It's really not a better word for it. I don't think they really were girthy.
They're robust.
Robust. I guess that's a good word.
They look like they could go a
and
few
you
rounds.
You could take a few rounds. Yeah.
When if you pick up a crappy tool, like if you go to some Harbor Freight. I don't know.
I was gonna say, come on, dude.
Well, whatever. But there's other places to get shitty tools. But you pick up a shitty tool and you're like, God, the pliers are already sloppy.
Yeah.
Like you could just feel like this is garbage. You definitely don't get that feel. Like it feels like it's good quality stuff.
I think
put together well.
Cody and I noticed the sheath or whatever that covers the actual shaft,
the rear boot,
instead of having like a rubber boot or something that covers the shaft from dust or dirt. This had a full sleeve, like a
plastic,
like a heavy plastic or PVC or something sleeve that the shock, everything slid through. So that right there is like, oh wow, that's gonna protect from debris, kicking up and marring up the shaft, and then obviously dirt and grime or whatever.
And those
Yeah.
any shocks I've ever put in where you got those rubber
Well, they're
boots,
usually just held by
the
zip
zip
ties.
tie. If they're
Yeah.
the third day, the zip tie's off.
Yeah.
They're all balled up. There's mud and shit in there. Like this isn't going to happen on those. You're right. I did comment.
That's a thoughtful thing, like
Yeah.
let's somehow cover this, but not in some bullshit cheesy way or just leave it exposed. They actually came up with
It wasn't an afterthought.
it was a pretty creative thing. So
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that, as well as its girth. It was very robust.
My biggest takeaway when we're unboxing that stuff is that it didn't feel any less premium than any other name brand suspension.
Yeah. Agreed. Totally agree. So then we got it all installed, got it all back together. We had taken measurements before and after. And again, Casey wasn't sitting at exactly stock ride height. But in the front, I think you got a full inch. And
I think it was like 1.5 to 2 inch.
no, on the
Yeah,
front.
but it's settled. It's settled. I think it was like an inch and a half.
I think the front
was
ended
about
up
the
with
same.
an inch,
The rear,
and the rear was like an inch and a half.
yeah, it was.
And so, I mean,
That leads to the comparison.
so we
I think.
compared the measurements to Matt's truck as it sits. They have the same exact tires. Couple year difference in truck, but same body. And what was the difference between Casey's and Matt's? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was like 1 3/4. He was higher in the back, but like Jose was saying, that's probably direct more because of the leaf pad.
That's right, because you have a factory leaf. You still have the factory leaf. Was the front the same? I felt like the front had
The front. The front was very close.
I wasn't there when you guys measured.
Oh, I'll have to go. I took video
But
of all of
we
it.
had parked in the driveway, and I think that the only difference was in the back. Really.
We should have taken a picture when the two of you were parked in the driveway so you could see. But I feel like the front wheel well was fairly close in
We'll
size.
never have that opportunity.
Never again. Or Thursday.
That's it.
Or Thursday.
Or Friday.
Or Friday or Saturday.
Or Friday or
Yeah,
Saturday.
Saturday.
So then I didn't go on the drive. I was cleaning my driveway while these guys were out taking it for a test drive. So Jose, as the bystander in back that didn't drive either vehicles, what was your initial reaction when you guys took off in Casey's truck?
So the way it took the hits, just when you took the hard, I mean, granted, there's only 2 big dips around here, but it would absorb.
Yeah, and then there's a couple.
There was 5 that day.
Yeah, but it absorbed the initial hit, so it compressed really well. It compressed really well. But my biggest surprise, the way it rebounded. So when like the truck went back up, it went up and then it settled. There was no after
rebounding.
Yeah, it took the hit, came back up and settled, and it kept going, and it felt super solid. I wish my language felt that way.
Well, that's why you got the Frontiers. Now we make the Frontier.
He doesn't
like
have the
Yeah,
Frontier.
it's just
Matt,
a work truck.
Just a rumor.
When you drove Casey's truck, what were your thoughts? Because you've been driving your truck for the last year or year and a half with your suspensions. What were your thoughts in Casey's truck?
So I think it is. I'm jealous of the leaf pack. I agree with Jose. I think that it gave just a little bit more. Again, I had tuned my shocks up to be a little more stiff to go through that little test there. But you could tell on the way his truck rebound again was.
It was just compared to your truck.
Yeah, it was more plush.
I don't know if control is the right word. I don't know what the right word is, but
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't
that.
think it's control, but it's just the way it reset, right? It took the hit and then it reset and there was no after.
I don't really. I'm no off-road scientist, but you could feel a difference, and I would put that towards that leaf pack 100%.
Yeah.
And again, when I drove his truck at Mojave. We went to back from the Punch Bowl. I drove his truck.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get that up to the rear end was so dead. I couldn't get it up to speed to even see, the suspension work really. So it was like it wasn't even you couldn't compare our two trucks at the time. Now you can. Now we'll actually be able to see, and his truck's going to perform. It's going to be 180-degree difference. There's, it felt very similar. And again, we're just talking two speed.
Yeah, this is two dips on the street.
Yeah. This isn't a comprehensive comparison, but
that's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, 100%. He's gonna. That truck's way more capable at this point now. So I can't wait to get it out. Have the two Frontiers, side by side this weekend, and really, get into more detail or find other obstacles and things like that to cross compare. But very impressed with the ease of install. That I can't imagine it being any easier.
No,
unless you paid somebody.
Yeah.
Unless you hey, can you just put this in for me?
Yeah.
It took us that long, and we weren't hurrying.
No.
Like I said, we spent a lot of time lollygaggling with video.
Michael came out and helped.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
If we were under the gun, we probably could have done that whole thing in like 2 hours.
Maybe an hour and a half, dude.
Yeah, and when we say that, Casey could have done in 2 hours, even if we weren't there, because
Right.
I don't know how much help we did.
Well, I did something. I got all that grease on your driveway.
You did.
How did that get there if I didn't
Yeah.
get my hands greasy? And my legs greasy? I was all greased up. I was all lubed up.
All lubed up and nowhere to go.
I went home.
Yeah.
So, and then I think the other thing that was really cool is we had always talked about, well, man, you're going to have them lime green coilovers. Like, you're going to have to, I don't want to say we weren't. It was like, I wonder what that's going to look like. They look really cool.
They
It looks
do.
cool as
Yeah,
shit. Like,
yeah, it looks really good.
That sticks out.
The only thing is he's got to get rid of those stupid red wheels.
The red rims
Yeah,
are
I'm working on that.
So I'm on the Ironman 4x4 America site right now, and that kit for the Frontier with upper control arms, pre-built coils, rear leaf springs, rear shocks, bushing kits, and in the picture there's four
U-bolts.
There's 4 U-bolts. So there's
Yeah,
somewhere.
I had Jose look it up. So did you look up the picture and see if it's even
And
supposed to be there?
They were there.
There's so somehow you and I lost U-bolts. But right now it's on sale, Black Friday sale for $23.19.
Is that?
Wow.
I think they're having 30% off.
Yeah, all the
It's $33.09 normally, on sale for $23.19. I'm going to say right now,
Wow.
I can
It's
say
$33.09.
retail normally it's on sale for $23.09.
Oh, wow.
$23.19. I'm going to say without any question,
That's like a solid.
that's
buy.
a solid buy for $2300
goodness.
bucks. $3,300 is a good price for what you get.
I mean, think about what you got for your Tacoma, because isn't that what you paid for? Like what you paid?
I
for
paid
the
more.
kit?
I paid more
For
than
the
that
kit?
for my Tacoma,
And you got less.
and it was shit.
And you got less than what
yes,
you got.
I
here.
didn't get.
It had rigor mortis already.
Casey, did my
tuned into
Tacoma
it.
kit have control arms? I don't think that it did.
I don't remember.
I don't think my.
I know it had leaf packs because that's why you went with it, because it wasn't an out of leaf. It was a full
So yeah,
pack.
so it probably had
So it
control.
was a
arm-
full. It was a
It was-
full leaf pack.
Oh yeah. That's why. That's specifically why I chose that version over all of the competition, because at that price range, at the $2,600 price
Yeah.
range, that was the only kit I found for the Tacoma
with the
that
leaf
had the
pack.
leaf pack,
The
and
rest of them
I
were all out of leaf.
100% regretted buying that system the minute I put it in.
What if that
No
guy?
re- no
what if that
regrets?
guy's listening right now? The guy that
I've
bought,
never once said the name of the company on this show.
no, the guy that bought the truck.
Oh,
And And now he's like, "Oh, thanks, dude."
No, look, it for the daily.
He's not listening.
I know, but for daily driving,
Yeah,
it was fine. It was fine for daily driving. It didn't, and it got the lift and got the tires. It did not perform to the level that we know our vehicle.
It did not perform. Period. I remember Jose
Like my
saying,
truck, that's how
"Oh
my
my god!"
truck was
Because
before the Ironman came.
yeah, Jose drove it to
Hammers.
Yeah,
drove it to Hammers. He's all, "I'd rather drive your truck around here," and I was bone stock. And not only that, but it was only it was like 4 or 5 months prior that we did the Icon test drive, and all day we're just ripping and tearing and mobbing up on these Icon equipped vehicles, and I'd said, "Hey, why don't you ask him if we can take your truck out here?" And it was like, we got into the first turn. I went, "No, dude, no, we got to drive home in this thing. This is not a good idea. I'm just sitting in here, and I can tell you, this is not right."
That's the day I started shopping for trucks.
Yeah, well, and it was like, I remember thinking, did you guys, when you installed it, did you put it on the driver's side on the passenger side? And it's just, like the geometry's off or something. It was rough. That was a lift kit. That was not like
it wasn't a performance kit.
It was
at
not
all.
a suspension or a full
This
performance
is
suspension.
And we've talked about before. We've had the Ironman guys on the show talking about the Foam Swell Pro technology and all that stuff. And kind of made a comment on one of the live feeds that we did about the size of the diameter of the rear shocks and how much more fluid and dampening capabilities it has because of that. It's amazing. It's you look at it and go, bigger's better. Okay, great. But no, there's a major difference in the way that it performs. So yeah, I'm looking at the kit, and the funny thing is those freaking U-bolts. I'm looking at the kit, but even still, to your point, I think if you had gone with the overload spring, you probably would have ended up wanting taking it off. For now,
is that the intent, the anticipation with that leaf pack that you're gonna put a lot of weight because you're gonna, even with that overload spring, it'd have been another half inch taller in the back.
I had told them, I says, here's how I drive the truck on a daily basis. This is the majority of the kind of wheeling that we do. A lot of times we're going from camp spot to camp spot, so I'm carrying a lot of gear or my kids' dirt bike, things like that. So they sent me the C-rated heavy duty leaf.
Yeah, so they have.
So there's two options.
They have three. They have A, B, and C, I think.
I'm on the site right now looking at it.
So they have a leaf pack, right?
You can get a 2-inch lift performance load 0 to 660 pounds.
Okay, and then
payload,
660 to
and
11.
then 660 to 1100.
Okay.
So if you're gonna run like you and Casey do, where you don't have a camper shell, you don't have a rack, you don't have a rooftop tent, you can go with the 0 to 660 spring.
Well, not only that, but not carrying a bunch of gear either. If it's just going out wheeling without a bunch of stuff.
So he ended up getting the 660 to 1100 pound pack, which in hindsight, if it were me, I'd probably buy that pack anyways.
You need 2 of those sets.
No fucking dick. I would buy the heavier one and do exactly what Casey did. Take the overload spring out for later if you need it.
I don't think I'm going to need it.
No, I don't think so either. But
even once I put all the gear and everything back there, I think it's just going to make it sit like level. Where before I'd load up the back and I was just like driving on the bump stops,
Yeah. So again, I think super impressed with everything about it so far. I was texting with Casey when he got home. He was like, "Tell me about you." So you left here and went back up the mountain. So you went up back up to Big Bear from my house. What was the ride like?
Well, first I hit the freeway and just punched it. I could tell how much smoother it is. And then I went, oh shoot, I never topped off my transfer case from all that fluid that leaked out when we pulled the drive shaft out. So we stopped to get gas and I crawled underneath there and dumped some fluid in the TK. So I was kind of more worried about that for the first few miles. So once I got that taken care of, I could just kind of focus on what the truck was doing. And it's, I mean, it's hard to explain unless you have experiences in one of your own rigs. But like, if you take a hammer and hit a piece of metal, and like that sharp, like the noise that it makes, the feeling that it makes in your hand, like it's like a sharp bang, right? And then you hit that same piece with a dead blow. Like, that's the difference, or one of the differences at least.
It's the difference between with an aluminum bat hitting off the side and feeling that vibrating ting.
Yeah.
Versus
off the hand.
Solid wood.
Or a shanker, or versus right in the middle of the barrel. You
The
can't even
sweet
feel
spot.
the fact that you made contact
Feels
with
like
a ball
you're hitting
and
a super ball.
it takes
you
off.
feel it like.
Oh yeah, that's the
what
way I
I'm
would.
used to.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was trying to get to, I guess. But
you didn't do a good job.
How about
I guess not.
how about an alignment? Did you get your alignment adjusted?
I have an appointment for tomorrow morning. I tried to get one Monday. They're like, dude, we can't do anything till Wednesday. I was like, as long as I got it done by Thursday, that's fine.
Did you tell him? Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
I did.
Have you
I
seen
did.
Blue Thunder?
Yeah.
We're talking about Blue Thunder here.
And they were like, look, asshole. Wednesday.
Look, there's a lot of blue thunders there, right?
Yeah. So, but the alignment, I mean, I think right now the only thing that's off is the camber, maybe the toe, because it tracks true. The steering wheel's straight, so I don't think it's off much. But if I was stock and then put that on, it probably would have been way off.
Yeah,
But I was already aligned for a lift, at least close,
yeah.
True that.
But it's just plush. It's cushiony, but not to the point. Like my old suspension was soft, but like stock soft, because they want it to just soak things up on the street. Where this is sort of, it's still soft, but you could feel like the rigidity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like, I think we talked about it at one point. We talked about feeling planted, like you felt
Yeah.
planted
So,
to the ground.
I think that's again, it was just, I might have driven his truck a total of a mile, right? I think for everyday driving, that kit is more comfortable. The front end on my truck is I think it's very stiff. But when you're doing 70 miles an hour down the Kessel Run, that it just, the front end, it's like leaning back on your dirt bike, and you're just kind of skipping over things. That's the way my truck feels. It's like it wants to go fast, and it definitely feels planted when you're like, do you remember the cleanup?
Yeah.
That was the first time I drove my truck on 33s with the lift.
Yeah.
And just as you were coming back down the road, going on a dump run,
You go to the dumpster and come back.
Going up to the dumpster and coming back, there was that just before you dove down and then curved into the lake bed, there was a really rocky,
like a ridge,
like severe potholes, let's say, where the faster I went over it, the better it went. Like, this is dumb, but it still felt like I was in control. There was no, so that's what I want to. I think we're actually gonna. We might be visiting similar terrain to that.
Dude, just give them our coordinates already.
Nobody listens to us anyhow. This is coming out on Thursday. Everybody's gonna go, oh shit, I know where they're at, and then they're gonna, hey, you know what? If you meet us there,
if you find us, you can hang out.
I'll give you a beer. But it'd be interesting for him to take his truck and just rail that area too, just to see the difference. Because I know he couldn't do it with the old stuff. The S stuff.
Well, I did it. It just not. I couldn't do it like
he did it. Yeah. He did it, and it rattled his bones. I think this weekend's going to be a good opportunity to do some side by sides. Both of you break shit, side by side runs. Both of you taking, because I like the fact that you have the same vehicle and you've been driving it for so long, and the suspension you have on your truck was custom built based on some old cut sheets and what have you.
Well, they had a kit.
That's what I'm saying, off the older kit, whereas the Casey the kit that Casey has is designed specifically for this vehicle. It's made
Yeah.
for this vehicle, right? So
That's
To be
current
fair,
production.
so was Matt's, but it's just they hadn't done it in a long time.
well, that's what I'm wondering if that. I guess what I'm getting to is it's a one-off, not something that's been
Replicated,
built, made, tested, tuned. You know what I mean?
It's also the reserved reservoirs against the foam cell. Like that comparison would be is really
in the
interesting
back.
too.
Yeah. And,
It's going to be hard to make it like a really good side by side without not having
shit.
new leaf packs.
Yeah, it's not a true.
Oh, that's true.
It's not a true side by side
but
without the leaf.
here's what I'm getting at is that I think we know what the bar is for the way that we drive, right? The way I drive my Ranger, the way Matt drives, and then Jose will catch up eventually. But we know what the bar is for the way we wheel, especially in that area. I mean, donut run, right? I mean, that's our Kessel run. That's our expectation. So this weekend will tell how well Casey's truck meets that expectation, right?
Just driving it home and then driving it to work the last couple of days. There's no way I'm not at least as fast as I was before in the desert. Like on the Kessel.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm saying I haven't even touched the dirt, and I can already tell you.
I can tell you right now
what it's going to do.
Yeah.
You know?
You're the way your truck was before we put the suspension. You couldn't have gone as fast over those bumps as you did. No way. I mean, you could have, and you'd have bottomed out, and your frame
My axle
your frame would
would've
look bent
ended
like
up
mine.
in the bed of the truck.
Yes.
So I am I'm thoroughly impressed with just all of it. The kit.
So for the money, the quality. I don't have any doubts about the quality. The install was very easy, surprisingly easy, almost suspiciously easy. Like we did put in those control arms, right? Yeah, I mean I remember putting them in. Yeah, very impressed. Again, I think this weekend's it's gonna be the tail of the tape, or I'm 100% convinced that I would want to get behind this kit 100%.
Yeah, well, and if you're a Frontier owner, let's start there.
Unless something breaks. Something shatters and breaks, and it's like, well, okay, hey guys, but I don't see that happening.
Not based on what it looks and feels like. But if you're a Frontier owner, there's not a lot of options off the shelf.
No.
Right? And the options that I have seen off the shelf are a lot more than what
price point
this kit is being sold for right now. And so I guess it's a matter of, going back to, you asked about my lift kit earlier, the one I had put on the Tacoma, right? I felt like, okay, I'm spending $2,600.
Well, you thought you were getting premium.
I'm making sure that I'm getting a leaf pack and not an add-a-leaf. It was a name brand. Like I didn't know anybody that had one, and there were a couple other options, and I took the chance, and anybody that asked me, I said, don't buy that kit. Don't buy that kit. And I felt like I didn't get my money's worth. So we will know after this weekend, but I can tell you at $23.19, I feel confident saying more than your money's worth.
Sounds like you said it's $1,000 off right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's $3,309 retail.
Okay,
but for,
$990
yeah,
off.
for Black Friday, their Black Friday site-wide sale. They're having a site-wide sale, by the way. $23.19.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. That's a major deal. So we'll know more this weekend once we get a chance to
actually get it in dirt.
Yeah, get it in dirt, get it mobbed on. Did you guys know that Iron Man has a full skid plate for your Nissan for $325?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Iron Man actually supports Nissan products,
do.
which is
Yeah.
I was thinking
They make
about,
that
there's
bunch of
bumpers.
I was thinking about buying it to see if it fits on my truck, because I don't have skid plates on my truck.
That's the other thing. Like, we're talking about the Frontier, and everybody's probably going to give us a bunch of shit for being Frontier lovers. But this kit went on Casey's 2014 based on what we saw, it's gonna fit on Jose's 2022. That kit is ready to go.
Well, it's the same frame.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Same
It's
shit.
so. Damn it!
Yes. We'll be a pitchfork.
No, I can't do that.
A quad?
Yes, you can.
A quad?
You can.
A quad poker?
Quad-headed.
Quad-headed stabber thing?
A pitchfork.
Pitchfork.
A pitchfork has 4.
Yeah.
Does a pitchfork have 4?
Yeah.
It could be 3
Yeah.
Okay.
or 2.
That's trident.
A bident.
A quadrant. Okay. So I guess
A fork.
a fork.
Salad fork.
Salad fork. So the takeaway here is way impressed with the way this kit looks, feels, installs, and currently is writing. We're not afraid to put things to the test here. So we're going to do that this weekend and report back in the, Lee says it's a spork. It's probably Sporky should be our mascot.
A fat fork.
Yeah. But Casey did a really good blog post on his feelings about the Frontier up to this point, and now that that's out, I think in a week or two, after we have the chance to take this out and get it on some dirt, and get it on some turd.
I think there's turd out there
There's
too.
plenty of turd. Get it out on some dirt. Casey will be able to write another blog post to kind of do some before and after comparisons. So, thanks, Adam. Appreciate that. I mean, it's really exciting. As far as I'm concerned, this is really exciting to see this thing go. I want to see how it performs, and then we'll go from there. But everybody. One of the things about when we do stuff like this, we don't do a lot of installs, but when we do get the chance to work on each other's trucks and stuff, it's usually a whole lot of fun. I mean, it's.
I'm surprised any work gets done at all.
Yeah, it's more shenanigans than anything. But we did post a lot of stuff on social media this weekend. So if you haven't already done so, go check that out on our Instagram and I think some TikToks. But anything else? Any last thoughts, guys, before we cut out for the night?
Super happy. Super excited. Thank Iron Man. Stay tuned. See what this thing does.
Yeah, thank you to Iron Man 4x4 America for helping get all this stuff into Casey's hands. It was a bit of a challenge, as we all know, about supply chain issues. So right now they show on their website that the kit is in stock, but for a while there it was like, well, we got these 2 pieces, then we got these 2 pieces, and it took a while, but they all made it here, and there's some U-bolts floating around someplace, and we'll find those and then see what happens. But thanks, Iron Man.
Imagine you're 10 years old and you wanted a bike for Christmas, and then like in October, one of the tires showed up.
Your parents brought home the frame.
And
No
then,
tires.
yeah.
Next
And
Christmas,
then-
you'll get the pedals.
After Halloween, yeah, the frame shows up, it like that, and then Christmas comes around, and oh man, now I just got to build the bike.
Yeah. But building the bike was fun in this case. So
Yeah, that was fun.
again, thanks to Iron Man 4x4 America for all their effort on this, and thanks to all of you for being in the chat room and hanging out. And we'll have some more for you next week. Everybody, this is coming out on Thanksgiving.
We'll see you at the spot I referenced
Yeah.
earlier.
This is coming out on Thanksgiving. We are
Saturday.
noonish.
Now we have to go there and see if anybody.
This is coming out on Thanksgiving. We are very thankful for everybody that listens to the show, and
Even Tim.
even Tim. Oh yeah. Hold on, Joe. Let me. I did see a voicemail.
Funny you asked, Joe.
Yeah. I didn't. I saw that there was a voicemail, but I have not looked at it. So let's see. Do we have any voicemails?
Nope, not a one.
Looks like we have a voicemail.
What up, boys? It's Joe K from Foothill Safety. What is happening? Look, I am driving across America for the 3rd time this year. I'm over it. No more driving across America, man. And what is up with Kansas? There are like 2 parks to go wheeling. My wife dragged me to off-road hell. Good news is, I think I'm driving my Jeep back from work in January, so we are going to wheel between January and March. Don't let me down. Listened to the show the other day. Still doing good stuff. Love you guys. And I'll check in with you again soon. Give you the Midwest Trail Report. Probably going to be really short. Anyways, be good, boys.
Yeah, Joe, I would have looked that up on a map before I moved to
Yeah,
Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm sure there's trails out there, and you go out there, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, I 100% would have checked. Be like, nope, not going.
Hard pass.
Looks like, let me look at the calendar. Yeah, it looks like no wheeling scheduled from January to March.
Funny thing, man.
Funny thing. We Joe, you know where to find me. Hit me up. We'll set something up when you get back out here. He's been making that drive for work, basically commuting for living in Kansas City, still coming out here to do teaching for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, and then going back.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than South Bay. I'd rather do that than what I got to do.
Yeah. So thanks for the voicemail, Joe. We miss you. Hopefully we do get to connect in Q1 next year when you show up.
You know, I got Joe before the winter expedition. Remember, I got those. I went to M&I Surplus, and they have badges or patches that, for your headline or whatever, just patches. And I found one. It was like, I fix stupid or something like that. It was like
right.
It was like the medical patch, whatever. It was funny. And I got that for Joe. He didn't go to winter expedition. He was supposed to go. And then I missed out seeing him. I think it was whatever other run we did. And then he moved. I'm like, oh man. So I still go through my glove compartment. I see it. So remind me, Joe, if you come out, I got you that patch.
That's right. Well, hopefully he comes out in January. We'll connect. And
I mean, it's a long way to go for a patch, but I understand. I got it for you. So,
all right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and thanks for always supporting us, and for being in the chat room, and for downloading the show, and for coming on events, and for being part of our community. And we couldn't do this without you guys. It wouldn't be nearly as much fun. So. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving with your family. I hope everybody's happy and safe and healthy and overstuffs themselves on whatever it is they love to eat, and it goes into a turkey coma. And then we will talk to you guys next week.
Thank you.
Laters.